There's a lot of discussion over the debt ceiling and whether it'll get passed by the House. The reality of it is the debt ceiling is going to get passed, and it's not really to be passed for new spending. It's really to cover the bills that Congress and the president have already approved. And so it's just to pay the debts that they've incurred. We go through this dance, it seems like all too often, because politicians use it as a way to trim spending and have at least a discussion about keeping the deficit down. The reality of it is, and what's interesting to me with all the financial geniuses we have at the Federal Reserve, the OCC, the Budget Office, is that nobody can tell the United States what their debt limit is. And I can assure you that Mary Barra of GM knows exactly how much debt GM can issue, as well as every other Fortune 500 CEO. But yet our government doesn't seem to know where the debt limit lies. And I suppose in part, if they approved a debt limit that the country could pay, then the politicians who have no intestinal fortitude to be fiduciaries with the taxpayers' money would probably spend right up to that prescribed limit. And hence, it's probably the reason why nobody deals with it on a long range and go forward planning as we set spending limits and approve budgets, because the budgets would probably be bigger and bigger, knowing the U.S. could handle more and more debt. So it's a necessary time of the year to talk about how spending gets handled in the future. The debt limit is going to get raised, and the consequences of it are catastrophic as our contrary world interests, meaning China and India and Russia, are anxious to see the U.S. default on its currency so that it can be another excuse why the world needs to get off of the U.S. currency. And it would be very dangerous. It would cost the U.S. a lot of money. We would continue to pay even higher rates for Treasury bill issuance. We enjoy a fairly good debt rate now as a country. And so it'll be interesting, but it's going to get approved. And it's just that time of year to talk about how to spend money in the future. But the debt limit will need to be increased to cover the spending that the government has already agreed to spend.